I had a terrible friendship breakup about 8 years ago, and I want to tell you why it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, at the time that this happened, I felt completely gutted. I felt like the other part of my heart was falling out of my chest. I felt like someone that I devoted so many years of my life to was just completely gone from it in a flash. I've said time and time again that I think friendship breakups are so much harder than romantic breakups. I don't know if it's because you give a different part of yourself to them, or just how you meet them, or how you're so vulnerable with them, like right off the bat. It just feels so much more difficult to me. I think the other thing about friends versus romantic partners is that when we're meeting someone to be a friend, we think it's going to be long term. We're like, this is great. We get along so well. They're in this for the long haul. Like, we can go through all these life stages together. But then when you go to date somebody, you realize this either works or it doesn't work. I'm not going to stay with them a long time if it's not going to work out or we don't have the same goals in mind. Now, I don't regret this friendship at all. We were friends for a long time for a good reason. I mean, we had a lot of great memories together. I learned a lot about myself during this time, and I feel like it was important to have this friendship during that stage in my life. But who I was then is very different to who I am now. I was a complete people pleaser. I was the shadow friend, as I called it. So basically, I would always be the person behind the other person. So I would let everybody else shine. I would do whatever they needed as a friend, because I learned to be a friend by supporting someone at the expense of my own health and wellness. So if they needed me at 3 a.m. to do something for them, I dropped everything and would do it for them. And not saying there's not a time and place for that, but I would do it all the time at my own expense when usually it wouldn't get reciprocated back to me. And I didn't see that until years later. Now, I think there's this narrative when it comes to friendship breakups or breakups in general that I'm the good person and they're bad, they're toxic, they did all these horrible things to me. And I don't think that's the case. I think sometimes maturity is realizing that sometimes friendships just end, and it needs to end for a reason. I don't think I would have been the person today if it weren't for that friendship, but I also don't think I would be the person I am today if I were still in that friendship. Back in college, when I was friends with this person, I realized I couldn't picture any part of my life without her. You know, I pictured us growing old together. We would always talk about raising our families together. Our kids would be best friends. And then looking back, I realized every choice I made during that time, I was looking for her validation. If I was succeeding or found some new independence in some new area of my life, I felt some resentment from her, like I was holding her back and moving along without her. I got a little taste of this when I studied abroad my sophomore year of college. At first, it was excitement and happiness for me, but as it got closer and closer to the trip, realizing it was actually happening, all I kept hearing was I was abandoning her. I was leaving her. How could I do this to her at such a vital time in her life? And then when I went, our friend group was kind of falling apart. Certain things were happening and I got blamed because I left. Soon after, that was our first fallout, and that should have been the first indicator that this was not a long-term friendship. Again, I'm not sharing this to do like a me versus them kind of thing, because like I said, I feel like our friendship was supposed to end at a certain point so we could both succeed on our own and be our own people. However, I'm sharing this for people that might be going through something similar. Friendship breakups happen all the time, and I think it's so easy for us to blame ourselves or blame the other person without saying like, no, this is a start of a new chapter and it's supposed to happen this way. So I know that was kind of a long rant, but it's just been heavy on my heart for a while just to talk about it. I see all these things about friendship breakups, and I think we're so programmed to think it's good versus evil. But it's like that famous quote that's like, friends are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So I think it's really good to identify that and to not put blame on the other person or yourself automatically, and just be like, you know what? She was there for me during this time. I was there for her. And now in order for us to grow and be our best selves, we kind of have to split off. So I don't know if this serves any purpose to anybody here, but I hope it helps.